Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys for tuning back in. I'm David Mathis, and I want to thank you guys for the support. The growth of the channel has been tremendous. Let's keep it going. If you guys are liking the content, please go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. Hit that little notification button because I am putting out regular content, so you'll know when new videos come up. But I thought today's topic was pretty important to cover considering we're getting into the holiday time, and that is dietary strategies leading into the holidays. Now, at the time of making this video, Halloween is right around the corner. We've got Thanksgiving, we have Christmas, we have New Year's, we have all these celebrations coming up where food is probably going to be a main component of it for most of us, food and drinks. And I think it's important to talk about some strategies that can help you stay on your course, right? Not deviate and get too off plan and lose all progress that you've made all year or put yourself farther in a hole to start off 2020 in. And I think that one thing that people need to understand is that when you're trying to lose weight, most of the year, everybody does great. They don't really have issues with it. It's when the holidays come around that is the time where everybody just kind of lets loose, right? That's where all progress is lost from the hard work from the other previous 9-10 months of the year, right? And it doesn't have to be that way. I know we get caught up in office parties, we get caught up in friends' holiday parties, we get caught up in Thanksgiving, family holidays, things like that. And it's really easy to just overindulge because everywhere you look, there's food, right? There's drinks, there's desserts, there's all this stuff. And we kind of tend to forget sometimes what our goals are. And it's just easy to grab something and eat it, right? Take that drink, all that stuff. So what I want to talk about is some ways that you can kind of combat that this holiday season, okay? Number one is, I don't think it's a good idea to be on a diet during the holiday time. Now, it's different if you're in like a contest prep or something like that, but if you are someone who is trying to lose fat, things like that, I think that during the holiday time is a good time for you to either do some diet breaks, right? Maybe start a reverse diet because you've had a long, successful fat loss leading up to this point. And you need to just kind of have the mindset of maintaining during this time, because let's be realistic. If you're going to be going to all these holiday parties, it's going to get very difficult. I don't care how seasoned you are. I don't care how much discipline you think you have. It's going to get hard to continue to be on a calorie deficit, right? You're going to get frustrated. You're probably not going to enjoy it. So why not use that time to your advantage and either go on a diet break, like I said, just go to a maintenance level calories for the holiday season, or begin a slow reverse diet so that you can enjoy food while you're going into the off season. Maintaining during the holiday time, guys, is a win, okay? I know that it might not seem like that, but considering that the majority of weight gained by people during the year happens during this time of year during the holidays, I would say that going on a maintenance phase is not only going to be good for your psychology, it's going to be good for your metabolism, it's going to be good for your body, and it's going to be a win. That would be a win as a coach in my book for a client that has trouble sometimes with overindulgence and everything, and going into the holidays on a fat loss phase. So putting them on maintenance would be and having them maintain their weight during the holiday time would be a great, great win. That way, if they want to continue going on a fat loss, as soon as the holidays are over, as soon as 2020 starts, we can start doing a deficit again, and their body is primed, right? Their body's primed for fat loss. They're at a good calorie mark. They're maintaining their weight. They're giving their body and their hormones the rest it needs from the stress of dieting. So that is one strategy that you can use to approach the holiday season coming up with your diet. Now, the other one, like I said, was a reverse diet. Now, say you're coming off 10 months and you've done an aggressive fat loss for 10 months. You've had a few diet breaks in there, right? And you're at a good place and you're ready to start building, right? This is a great time to start implementing a reverse diet because you can slowly start through, November, up to Thanksgiving, into December, up to Christmas, to New Year's, you can start slowly adding calories back in. So by the time you get to those meals, you're not on your poverty macros from a fat loss phase. You actually have some macros that you can play with, eat a little bit more food, and it's helping your cause. It's helping your main goal of the reverse diet. So that is one strategy that you can use. Now, let's talk about strategies. Say you want to stay on a fat loss, say you want to maintain, say you want to do this stuff. Let's talk about strategies actually on that day, right? On Halloween, on Thanksgiving, on Christmas, on New Year's. Ways that you can approach your nutrition on those days during the holidays, and not completely blow through your macros, right? One thing that I like to talk to my clients about is intermittent fasting. Now, I do not think there's anything magical about intermittent fasting. I've read research on the pros. I've read research saying that there's no benefits from it. Personally, I don't think there's any benefits from it. As far as if you're still taking in the same amount of calories during the day, you're going to have similar weight loss and weight gain. Okay. I do understand the cleansing benefits that some people experience from intermittent fasting, but that's not really the purpose of why I'm talking about it right now. The purpose of talking about the intermittent fasting right now is so that you can kind of save some calories later on in the day. Most of the meals for holidays take place in the late afternoon, early evening time. And you want to be able to enjoy, that turkey, the stuffing, the corn casserole, the ham, the sweet potato pie, all this stuff, right? You want to enjoy that stuff, but you don't want to blow all your macros and go completely over it. So why not try to practice a little bit of intermittent fasting throughout the morning into early afternoon, so that you save some of those macros that you have allotted for those meals, and you can enjoy the meal while still staying on track. Okay, now that's one option. Some people don't like intermittent fasting, and I can't say that I disagree with them. Me personally, I'm not a big fan of intermittent fasting. It does not work for me. Now, granted, I do eat 5 or 6 times a day, and I am in a growth phase, so intermittent fasting is not too appealing to me. But for some people, it might be very appealing. Another strategy is to drink a lot of water, right, earlier in the day. So you drink a lot of water, and it kind of fills you up, right? So it kind of mimics that idea that you are full. Once again, you save some calories for later on, but you don't go over your calories. You're just allotting them for a different time, right? You're allotting those macros for a specific time period in the day. This isn't a free-for-all where you're allowed to just go completely over your macros. You're just spacing them out different. Another strategy I like to use is smaller meals earlier in the day. So you're not intermittent fasting and you're not having to fill up on water, but those meals are more protein based, all right? Because let's be honest, the majority of meals during the holiday times are very carb and fat dominant, right? So you have little protein meals throughout the day. It's gonna satiate you. Protein is very satiating, right? And then you're able to save those carbs and fat macros and a little bit more protein for later on in the day for those meals, so that you are getting as close to your macros as possible. And I think that's important to understand is during the holiday time, you are not going to be 100% perfect unless you want to bring your scale. You don't want to eat anything that you go to that are at parties that you go to. You want to make your own food. If you don't want to do any of that, then you have to be okay with understanding that you are not going to be perfect during the holiday time. And that's okay. You just are trying to do the best you can while enjoying your time with your friends, your family, your coworkers, whoever you're enjoying the holidays with, right? I think we get stressed out a lot during the holidays, and we tend to overeat because we're trying to be too perfect, right? And then we're humans, it gets to us. So build in that little bit of comfort, right? That little bit of cushion for yourself. Use some of these strategies I just talked about on the days of the holiday, on Thanksgiving, on Christmas, on New Year's. Try implementing some of these strategies ahead of time so that when you get to the meal, you haven't already used up a lot of your macros earlier in the day. You have a lot to play with, and you are just in a better position to stay on course for your specific goals. Like I said earlier in the video, I think the main goal for most people during the holidays should be to maintain. And if you can do that, I think that's a huge win in your books, and it sets you up for a very successful process in 2020, whatever it is, right? If it's to go into another fat loss phase, if it's to begin a prep, if it's to start a reverse, if it's to start a mass gaining phase, any of that. Just try to not put so much pressure on yourself during the holidays. There are strategies, there are tools that can work to your advantage, but you have to be willing to implement them. You have to have the self-discipline to stick to them. And you have to just have the vision of what it is your main goal is right now, and understand that all this food, all this drink, all this stuff at parties, it's great. You can have a little bit. Doesn't mean you have to have it all, right? Food is going to be in abundance. You don't have to worry about starving. So practice a little bit of self-restraint. There's many different forms, like I said before, the intermittent fasting, maybe the drinking water, drinking some coffee during the day. That's kind of an appetite suppressant for some people. That way you have those macros for the meal, and you don't have to worry about completely blowing out your calorie intake and your macros for the day and gaining 5-6 pounds during the holidays. Maintaining during the holidays is going to be a huge win in your book and should be your goal for majority of people. If it's not, like I said, there are other strategies you can implement, and also a slow reverse diet leading into the holidays is a great idea for someone coming off of a fat loss phase. So hope this helps you guys a little bit. I know the holidays can be very stressful for a lot of people. It can also be one of the best times of the year for you. So do not let your fear of, completely losing all progress get in the way of you enjoying the time with your friends, your family, whoever it is you're spending the holidays with. There are strategies, and if you need more help with it, if you're looking for help maintaining during the holidays and then setting up for a successful 2020, please reach out to me. You can find me, David, at biolane.com. You can go to my website, www.coachdavidmathis.com, and you can find me on Instagram at Mathis Fitness. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you got a little something from it. Leave some comments in the comment section below, some struggles you have during the holidays, some tips that you have for people. By all means, the tips I gave you aren't the only tips that you can do. So let's kind of interact with each other and try to help each other out. You guys have a great day. Like I said, like, subscribe, share, hit the little notification button so you know